OBS window over here. There we are. Bitrate and frame rate seem to be holding up. What's up, Dennis? Welcome back. Welcome back. Alright, everything seems to be holding up. I'm going to start a new project. I just had this one open up to make sure the audio is getting detected because Premiere does not like to cooperate with OBS sometimes because of the way it handles audio. Alright, new project. What are we going to edit today? We are going to edit my Premiere versus Vegas render time comparison. That is what we're going to edit. Premiere versus Vegas render time comparison. Yeah. Scratch disks, all good to go. Alright, CPU preset seems to be holding up. Frame rate's holding up. I'm changing stream settings based on some new changes that... why does it give me notifications for song changes? Based on some changes that Twitch just made recently. Alrighty. I am excited. We are going to edit. How are you doing today, Dennis? Since when do you take Vegas seriously? I don't. But someone asked me to compare the render times, and it was a fun rabbit hole to go down. So I figured I'd try to convert some other people to the Premiere Pro Master Race, if you will. Alright, we need to edit up our audio first. I'll go ahead and make my bins on the side monitor here. A-roll. Actually, I don't even know what all bins I have. A-roll. Renders. Wow, that didn't work. Enders. Editing. Tests. GFX. Close enough. A-roll. I'll just start there. Doing pretty well, thanks for asking. How are you doing? I'm doing okay. I streamed for like an hour earlier and then ended up having to cancel it because I haven't gotten much sleep recently. And so I tried to go take a nap, and taking a nap didn't work. I was in bed for like 2 hours and only just kind of dozed off a bunch, so we are back here streaming again. Can you wash it, please? Yeah, I'll do that after I stream. Let me make a big old note to me. Do I need this? I do not. Wash. Polo. Right. Just keep that in my way. Alright, save out our audio. And my cat won't leave me alone. He threw up as soon as I fixed my lunch. That was fun. He's done that multiple days. You got off before I could give you some starter cash. I was not into it. I needed to go take a nap. A nap didn't work, so I'm still exhausted, but I feel a little, like, more rested, or either extra food and caffeine has helped a little, so... I'm just gonna edit, because I already raged quit Neo. I just did not want anything to do with RuneScape 3. I felt lost. It looked really stupid. It didn't run well. I wanted nothing to do with it, so we're just gonna edit today. Until I feel like trying something else, because that was not fun. Like, nothing about RuneScape 3 made any sense, and nothing about how it was going to play out
on your asses.
Made it look like something I actually wanted to host. What kind of gamer are you, BTW? Not sure I can answer that question. Like, what do you mean? I don't really go through for labels, and I play every platform and stuff, so there's not really an answer to that question. Alright, why is it giving me notifications for song changes now? It only does that like half the time. That pisses me off. Stop it. Stop it, VLC. A-roll. Renders. Drag in my source footage. Renders. I'm probably not going to need those for anything, but there's source footage for this project. So
I'm going to get medieval on your asses.
Lots of auto hosts going on lately. Cool. Only casual because I spend so much time working. I go hardcore on certain games when I have the time. I don't have the time as much these days, which streaming is supposed to fix. But Because I put a crap ton of hours into Overwatch up until the Christmas event. Hardcore, competitive, or more casual? Oh, more casual. Like, I'm too old to be into competitive stuff anymore. Oh, the test folders is just my source footage. Okay, I don't need that. Close bin. Then I had a comment somewhere. A pixel just died on your work monitor. RIP!
I'm gonna get medieval on your asses.
That sucks, dude. Did you hear that they said dead pixels on the Nintendo Switch was just an inherent problem with LCD screens and that they weren't going to fix them? Dead pixels, stuck pixels, like entire clusters of dead pixels. They're just like, nah, we're not going to fix that. Ridiculous. Alright, I'm just getting my Aero clips put together here so we can start editing. This is a project that I'm long overdue on. Not that I have a set due date for this or anything, since it's just kind of my own experimentation, but someone asked about it in like forever ago, so
This test, I created a results with the 4K 30F.
alright. Cool. Hopefully the stream looks okay. I did tweak the settings just a little bit, so hopefully that looks okay. Did you manage to finish the project from yesterday, or did Premiere keep bullying you? Yes, both projects I was working on yesterday are finished and uploaded. So, yeah, all of that finished, and they will go live. One of the projects will go live on Friday. The tutorial won't go live until sometime in early April, sometime in the next like week or two. But I did end up finishing them. Forgot to do a couple steps on both projects, but they ended up turning out okay. Alright, new comp, Premiere v Vegas, render time comp. I called it Premiere. Premiere v Vegas. Premiere. Alright, drag that on. We'll do the color grading later, assuming I actually remember this time. Who knows if I'll remember. Have to wait till April then for the tutorial. Yeah, it's only... hang on. I have the schedule pulled up here. So April 10th is when the tutorial goes live, the Windows customization tutorial. If you want to bookmark it, don't leave the stream for it. But I can link it to you. It's already like uploaded, so Windows 10 ARC guide. If you want to like bookmark it for later, since it's half an hour long, you know. Alrighty.
I'm gonna get medieval on your asses.
Thank you for the host. Thank you.
Vegas versus Premiere render time take 1.
I need to start using my damn clapperboard again. Alright, cut. This is going to be a long and complicated video to fabricate B-roll for, which is why I have put it off for so long, but there's nothing I can really do about it, and I really want to get the video online, so might as well go ahead and try.
In the next one.
Okay. Well, that will go after my outro. I'm recording specific like outros and stuff for the videos now to throw with some like high energy music instead of talking about it in the script. I think it ends up working better.
Adobe's CC Suite.
Actually, this would be a good opportunity to go ahead and utilize that lower third. Not like this. Half the emotes don't show up. Like, the emotes showing up in things are so inconsistent. That video.
Magics. Mainly because it was easy to pirate. For shame, please try out the plethora of high-quality free... For shame, please try out the plethora of high-quality free or open-source tools out there instead. But that...
zoom in on this a little bit. I can't wait, which is going to be harder now because I'm about to not have any financial income, but I can't wait until I can get paper backgrounds things so I can stop making stupid decisions like, let's film in this corner today, and then it looks like I'm filming in front of blackness. What's going on, Shift Control? Hey, hey. Welcome to the stream.
Pirate. For shame, please try out the plethora of high-quality free or open-source tools out there instead. But that's besides the point. We can debate all day whether the tools...
Rip.
But that's besides the point. We can...
Alright, delete all of that, I guess. Alright, hopefully the stream looks better. I'm using slightly higher bitrate. Twitch announced... Oh yeah, I need to check on that, actually. Twitch announced that they are giving transcoding to basically everyone, and then they changed their recommended settings for the 6 megabit per second stream. So I'm trying to make sure my system handles the slow CPU preset, and I want to make sure I actually have that they... Transcoding. Okay, yeah, I do. Okay, ignore that. All right, so hopefully it looks good. And then I do have a new, which I showed off last time, but my little zoom in tool, which can zoom in here. Although the chat is not interacting with it properly for some reason now. That's sad. All right, whatever.
But that's besides the point. We can debate all day whether the tools or UI of Vegas or Premiere is better. But what about render times? Can we lock down a legitimate proper test of a render comparison between the two? This wound up being a huge rabbit hole to jump down rather than a simple comparison. But let's take a look.
Let's take a look. Nope, I am streaming. You get the hell off of my desk. All right, let's do... Is it true that Mario Kart on the Switch still splits the screen even if all 4 players have their own Switch? I don't know. Do I look like the person who... Do I look or sound like the person who really gives a crap about the Switch? No, I'm not. And I just found out that this, like, kids game, that Snake game, doesn't even run at 720p on the Switch. It runs at, like, 600p. Like, ugh. It'll be a good handheld console if I pick it up at any point, but not getting it right now. All right.
But let's take a look.
I mean, if all 4 players have a Switch, you're doing, like, online multiplayer anyway, at which point it would behave as it would normally, so...
Actually, I'm going to cut back here and just say this turned into a pretty complicated and technical adventure. The difference isn't a matter of...
Actually, let's interrupt the intro and then rerun it. So delete that. Let's start it out. And then glitch out of it. Premiere glitch. How do you do this animation? What animation? If you're talking about the intro, that was mostly, it's a template from Video Blocks. I mean, it's just mostly like a glitch preset applied to it.
Actually, I'm going to cut back here.
All right, let's do a record scratch interrupt sound. Actually, let's do one of my Windows sounds. Hang on. I don't have my keyboard fully working, so I'll have to use this so I can get my keyboard up to date. So, sound effects. Windows XP sounds. All right, what do I want to be the error sound? Is it this? Hey, Casplay, welcome back. Nope, that's not what I want. That is the error sound, though. No, none of those sound good. All right, maybe I will just do the record scratch. Hardware fail. That doesn't sound like an error to me. All right, yeah, we'll just do the vinyl scratch. Record scratch, final wave. Oh, there's so many of them. Let's just pick one that sounds good. Nope. Let's go back to the beginning, because there was one I consistently used. Chat will get moved over here for now. Alright, none of those are working for me. Did I have a different one? I'm so confused right now. Or is it this? Oh, that's a different file. Okay. Yeah, that. Welcome back, Casplay. Welcome back. Alright, so crop that off. Drag it on right there. Mine is 12-ish.
Actually, I'm going to cut back.
Yes, perfect. All right, and then we will save that as our record scratch preset for the keyboard. Perfect, perfect. Maybe this is just a placeholder image, but this is the image in the ads. Ha! That's funny. I do. Yeah, that is really dumb if that's how it works. It's probably just a placeholder stream or image, so I don't know.
Actually, I'm going to cut back here in here and just say this turned into a pretty complicated and technical adventure. The difference isn't a matter of.
All right, paste in my Patreon lower third.
So if you want the cut and dry, too long, didn't watch answer, Premiere renders faster than Vegas, rendering in about half the time. But to me, why that happens is much more.
There we go. TLDR for the video within the first minute, just in case, you know, I want to nuke my watch time any more than it already is. Why not? Why not? All right.
Watch answer, Premiere renders faster than Vegas, rendering in about half the time. But to me, why
what's going
that
on, Tech
happens
Soup?
is much more interesting. If you
Well, yes, it renders faster. That would be why I said it in the video. I don't lie about these things. Oh yeah, I'm not using my main mic, so I can crop up my view here a little bit.
want to learn more,
Hopefully this still sounds okay. It's easier to stream with this. All right, then we paste in the full intro. I think that'll be funny. Like, that's funny, right? Interrupting the intro like that. Instead of just throwing it on. Like, I'm trying to be more creative with this stuff. Let me play it back here. Just wrote the email to HR department. Good luck, buddy. That sucks. Unfortunately, there is no HR department for me to write. I just get to wave a middle finger at them. This sounds better than most streamers? Well, that works for me.
This wound up being a huge rabbit hole to jump down, rather than a simple comparison. But let's take a look. Actually, I'm going to cut back here here and just say this turned into a pretty complicated and technical adventure. The difference isn't a matter of A versus B, but how the two softwares utilize different optimizations. So if you want the cut and dry, too long, didn't watch answer, Premiere renders faster than Vegas, rendering in about half the time. But to me, why that happens is much more interesting. If you want to learn more, carry on.
All right, I think that worked. I think that worked. Okay, you all agree. Perfect.
Sometimes video ideas, no matter how obvious the idea.
Like, I'm pretty sure Freedom might have an HR department, but they fired most of the people a while back, and then I think they've been rebuilding it back up, but I don't really have, in my 4 years of talking with them, other than when I got hired, I've never interacted with them, so. And there's nothing I can do about it. Like, there's nothing, like, talking to them would do it for anything that I need, so. Doesn't really matter. I just get to be stressed and cancel streams after an hour like I did this morning. Woo.
Sometimes video ideas, no matter how obvious the idea is, comes from the strangest places. So shout out to the friendly broski for...
Oh yeah, I need that comment. Where did my comment go? Here it is. Nope. Oh, Discord. It was a Discord chat. Okay. Shabamo. Oh god. Alright, yeah, we need to open up Photoshop da Whoop. Photoshop da Whoop. Hope everyone's week is going well. It's already Wednesday. I've streamed like every day of the week so far, so this week has gone very quickly again, which is fine since I haven't really wanted to think about much, but it's crazy. It's gone very quickly. All right, Photoshop. We need to make an edit to that image. I hate Photoshop doing that. I love Photoshop as a program, but whenever you first open it, it takes control, it takes focus over and over, which when you're trying to multitask is infuriating. Okay, we're good. We're good. All right, new image. UHD 300. Yep. Yep. Drag on our thing. Move chat out of the way. I can leave that as is, but I will want to copy out the specific message. There we go. That is, so I need this one. Copy paste. This week going fine for me. I'm leaving for home tomorrow earlier than usual. Nice, nice. Comment number 2. And comment number 3. Bam. All right. So number 1. Hopefully that scales okay. Let's drag it like up to the side over here. Wow, that sucks. Can I add like some levels to it or something to like boost the text? Like darkness. Oh, that looks bad. Alright, there's not a whole lot I can do about that, so hopefully it looks okay contrasted against the blurred out background. Alright, comment number 2. Drag it over to this side. Need some money so you can purchase my internet browsing history. Lol. Good old US government. Doesn't understand a damn thing. Drag this one back over here. We'll make this bigger to pull out the taskbar because no one wants to see my taskbar. Blur out the background. And then add in some drop shadows. Oh, that's not the right drop shadow. Shit. Drop shadow. There we go. Copy layer style. Paste onto these 2. In a video. Close enough. Save out. Comments. Gotta go to the right folder though. Active projects. Vegas V Premiere. There we go. Alrighty. I need like a 5th monitor for chat down here too. My setup would be so ridiculous if I wasn't limited by funds or like space. If I could just keep building out stuff, I would have the most ridiculous setups. Like not in a good, I'm not saying that in a like braggy good way. Like it'd be stupid. I am obsessive about having monitors and tools for everything.
From the strangest places. So shout out to the friendly bro.
Alright, and then we can wipe into this.
Places. So shout out to the friendly broski for suggesting the idea to me via Discord.
Why are you using your RE320? Mainly because I just felt like having some free movement. I don't know. I forgot to switch mics, to be honest. And so I just kind of went with this one because I was streaming console earlier. Today's a console stream game. Or stream day. Just kind of was in the mood. But since you mention it.
There we go. There we go. Same here, monitors and tools. I feel bad for all the people who buy my browsing history. All they have to do is ask where I find my memes.
I'm EposVox.
All right. And we can honestly drag on another lower third here. Like it's a lot of lower thirds at once, but I usually don't get to use them. So this is a good opportunity to just kind of put them all to use.
I'm EposVox, here to make tech easier and more fun today, trying to compare render times on my machine versus the Vegas Pro and a...
Yeah, I'm going to have to start using a VPN for things, because that makes me uncomfortable. Not that I actually view anything like too shifty or scary or anything, but just the idea makes me very uncomfortable. I have a Tunnel Bear subscription for like a year, but
Adobe Premiere Pro. I'm using the latest versions of each, Vegas Pro 14.
I wish I had multiple monitors of the same size. Those are always the ideal setups. I actually found there's from a company called I think it's from Locktech. I don't remember actually. It was one of those companies. They have a 4 monitor arm for like $70 on Amazon, and it has pretty decent reviews. And so you stack them. But my monitors are too big as is to like start with it, and I can't afford to just buy 4 of the same monitor at the moment. I sent out a bunch of emails, but no one wants to send me a bunch of monitors at the moment at my channel size. They're gonna laugh when my channel grows or something. I don't know. What's up, Strike On, bro? Welcome to the stream. I just don't tell my friends because then they wouldn't need me anymore. Wouldn't need you for your memes.
And Adobe CC 2017 to take advantage of the latest.
We're just going to do the A-roll cut. I'm not going to try to put too much over top because I'm going to have to pull a lot of footage out of my ass for this like 11-minute long video.
Optimizations. For hardware, I'm running this on my main rig, an Intel Core i7-6900K CPU with a GTX 1080. My source footage files sit on my OS drive, a Intel 750 series NVMe SSD, and my target drive to render is a run-of-the-mill 2TB 7200 RPM desktop hard drive. In case you didn't know, rendering to a different disk than your source footage results in faster renders. Optimization tip number 1. Normally, my force footage relies
No, it's Premiere Pro. It says in the stream title, doesn't it? Yeah, it says in the title. It's Premiere. You don't edit normal videos in After Effects. Never ever.
Optimization tip number 1. Normally, my source footage relies
My source footage relies. My force footage relies. But is your mic blocking a lot of your view? Nah, I'm used to it. I can see it just fine. This is how I do it for most of my streams, my tutorials, everything. And you're the one who asked me to put it back. Ah.
1. Normally, my source footage resides on my Synology NAS, and I use a secondary SSD on my PC as a scratch
No title on mobile. Didn't know that.
disk and media cache location for
I don't take
Premiere.
mobile seriously.
Actually, it's called cache. I always say cache, and everyone says it's wrong. Whatever. Vegas doesn't like
Zoom in on that. Me making a joke to correct myself because I'm terrible at remembering how to say cash instead of cache. A rich man's cash.
Premiere. Actually, it's called cache. I always say cache, and everyone says it's wrong. Whatever. Vegas doesn't let me
Actually, and that should be black and white as well. Black and white.
cache, and everyone says it's wrong.
Yeah.
Whatever. Vegas doesn't let me customize this option.
Cash.
The cache location, however. So to keep things running smooth, I kept all my files local to my machine, which is more of what most people would probably use anyway. For this test, I created a sample video edit. I chose 10 video clips of different resolutions, frame rates, and codecs to stress the render. 1080p 60 gameplay from my Elgato, 4K 60 desktop recordings from OBS, 4K 60 gameplay recordings from NVIDIA Shadowplay, 1080p 30 webcam recordings, 1080p 60 camcorder shots, and so on. I also had 2 1080p 60 alpha channel overlay lower third clips that I used in the edit. I first created the edit in Vegas, taking note of the order and time codes of each clip I used so that I could successfully recreate this in Premiere. This was tedious, especially since Vegas' trimmer is the worst, but I got it done.
I told you not to mod while you drive anyway, so get out of here.
In Premiere. This was tedious, especially since Vegas' trimmer is the worst, but I got it done. My final video was about 5 minutes and 8 seconds or so, ready to be rendered at 1080p 60 FPS and 4K 30 FPS.
I have a new package for delivery tomorrow. What could it be? What could it be? It's from Amazon. Never mind. It's not even for me. It's for Chew. Damn it. I was excited. I got a new sit-stand desk thing in the mail today. Or to my apartment today for review. Sad part is I can't use that for my normal setup. So I just have to go sit it upstairs and do a sample test. Very annoying, but I wish I had like I can't modify my giant wall-length desk to be sit-stand and do what I want anyway.
I did that so we could compare resolutions, frame rates, and scaling of various sizes within a more realistic edit. I also added some fade-ins and fade-outs to stress.
Really? Why did I screw that up? Why would that have been screwed up? Come on, Epos. Get better at reading your scripts, fool.
Edit. I also added some fade-ins and fade-outs to certain clips, a little contrast and saturation increases on a couple as well. So that way it wasn't just raw converting footage. This is what drives me nuts about render time comparisons is when they don't do any actual editing. They just throw some footage on a timeline. That's just transcoding. That's way different than editing an actual video edit.
Yes, it is.
But this brought me to my next problem. There's 2 standard MP4
Recording Epos has stopped working. Would you like to close the program or restart it?
Render options that YouTubers use within Vegas: Main Concept MP4 and Sony AVC MVC MP4. So I needed to render each for both formats so I can see which one of those was faster too. Except the Sony AVC MVC option does not allow for a high enough bitrate for my 4K 30 render settings. It maxes out around 26 megabits per second, which is not enough for 4K. Also, Adobe Premiere has a max render quality toggle in its render for 4K. Also, Adobe Premiere has a max render quality toggle in its render settings. This increases the quality of the scaling engine during video renders, which can sometimes slow it down. I also rendered this without and with it on so that we can compare those times as well. I've got to drink some water because the results are pretty cray. It's gonna be a lot of talking. Are you ready? Here are the results. In Vegas, Sony AVC MVC MP4
Zoom that in a little bit. Cut that bit out and then add black and white. Started doing that fourth wall breaking thing in my videos where I divide me into editing CAS and recording CAS. Nice.
well. I've got to drink some water because the results are pretty cray. It's gonna be a lot of talking. Are you ready?
Then I'll slightly lower the volume of my water bottle creaking.
Here are the results. In Vegas, Sony AVC MVC MP4 rendered faster than Main Concept MP4, taking only 8 minutes 46 seconds to render the 1080p 60 file, whereas Main Concept took about 10 minutes and 24 seconds. Oddly enough, Sony AVC MVC also produced a much smaller file at about smaller file at about 555 megabytes per second. At about 500.
Screwed that up.
At about 555 megabytes.
It's megabits per second, not megabytes, dummy. No one will let me live that down for my OBS tutorials.
At about 555 megabytes with an average bitrate of 15 megabits per
total
second
file size.
versus the 1.10 gigabyte file with Main
bitrate.
Concept. I tried to put the same bitrate roughly in for each. Don't know what happened.
Oh, no, that's not what I wanted to do. There we go. All right, do a little bit of a zoom in here, and then a big zoom in there.
Concept. I tried to put the same bitrate roughly in for each. Don't know what happened. I did this twice. I don't know. However, Premiere Pro
boots with the foe.
However, Premiere Pro blew this time out of the park. It's worth mentioning that here in AME,
Yep.
it's worth.
Yep.
However, Premiere Pro.
So I did it twice. Premiere Pro twice. Wow.
Premiere Pro.
How do I screw that up twice? Okay.
The park. However, Premiere Pro blew this time out of.
Oh, I need to delete that as well.
I don't know. However, Premiere Pro blew this time out of the park.
Pro
It's
blue,
worth
that's
mentioning
why.
here that
It's a little difficult to say. Princess
AME,
Peach cosplay at
Adobe
1,000
Media
followers.
Encoder,
No.
often takes a long time to write
No,
file metadata to the actual video file after the render process has completed. This can take anywhere up to 5 minutes for really obnoxious files. The render is done, CPU usage drops back down to 0 or whatever, but it does not
And I
finish.
don't have footage of this, so I don't know what to do. Like, I can't get footage of all these little aspects of rendering because recording programs don't, cooperate while you're rendering.
Finished just yet. Because of this, I took note of both the time elapsed shown in AME when it finished the render and the total render time. Because of this, I took note of both.
Wait, did I screw that up? Hang on. What?
Because of this, I took note of both the
Yep.
time
Bam, bam, bye-bye.
yet. Because of this, I took note of both the time elapsed shown in AME once it finished the actual render and the total render time from AME's text log when it showed that the metadata writing was also complete. For this 1080p 60 file, Premiere took far...
I'm sounding Irish in a lot of videos. Irish, for.
Complete. For this 1080p 60 file, Premiere took 4 minutes and 55 seconds to write the file. No.
Really? This was such a hard video to get through because it's so technical.
For the 1080p 60...
Damn it! Lost my spot. Always hit end instead of delete. Oh god. So I did hit delete.
Complete. For the...
Yeah, okay. No! Keep screwing things up. There we go.
Complete. For the 1080p 60 render, Premiere Pro took 4 minutes and 55 seconds to render the file. 5 minutes and 15 seconds total with metadata, with max render quality on. With max render quality turned off, that dropped to 4 minutes 53 seconds and 5 minutes 4 seconds with the metadata. That's almost half the amount of time that Sony Vegas took. Insane. With the big CC20...
Don't take any conclusions for this until the video is done. Because I also said you can't render to a decent bitrate in main concept, or in AVC, MVC, like you can in main concept. So it renders faster, but it looks like shit. Technical. Har har.
2017 update, Adobe has kicked its serious ass with performance optimizations. I've been impressed in recent months of using it, but it's nice to see it actually quantified in front of me. We see similar results with the 4K 30 FPS render. Main concept in Vegas Pro took about 17 minutes and 29 seconds to render, while Premiere took 8 seconds.
And the AVC, MVC won't even let you set higher than 1080p or something. It wouldn't do 4K at all.
While Premiere took...
Screwed that up.
While Premiere took 8 seconds and...
8 seconds and This is why I don't do benchmarking videos. Reading off numbers does not make for an interesting video to edit.
Seconds to render, while Premiere took 8 minutes and 31 seconds with max render quality on, 8 minutes 22 seconds with max render quality off. Again, half of the time to render in Premiere.
Whee!
Again, half of the time to render in Premiere. And this render would have been much quicker, at least on Adobe's side, if not for the 4K 60 Guild Wars 2 gameplay footage I threw in. This is a very high bitrate and insanely detailed video file that I could actually see slow the render to a halt compared to the other footage in the video. But compared to Vegas, it still flew through it. It was about at this point that I realized that I might have given Premiere an...
What does an Australian at a restaurant and a chess player have in common? They need the checkmate.
It was about at this point that I realized that I might have given Premiere an unfair advantage, just due to the natural workflow that I use in Adobe Suite.
Gotta give me harder ones than that.
As I mentioned before, I utilize a dedicated SSD within my system for the media cache files and scratch disks in Adobe. This speeds up video editing tremendously, especially when I'm in Adobe. This speeds up video editing tremendously, especially when I'm editing footage shared over the network. This isn't an option in Vegas.
Yes, I tried custom frame size. It would not take any higher frame rate. It literally just wouldn't save the settings. Trust me, I spent hours on this.
This isn't an option in Vegas. I set every setting I could to store temporary files from the program to that SSD, but it always stores audio peak files and such next to the source footage. It's just an inherent part of the program. That doesn't appear to be an option one can change at all. I did research and found threads going back to the early 2000s requesting this feature, but to no avail. This is actually what led me to render my main C drive instead of over the network in the first place, as Vegas created peak files over the network was slow as molasses and just froze the program entirely. This did potentially give Premiere an advantage, I thought, since it was utilizing a...
Actually, I thought should be cropped in on just for funsies. Is that my cat at my foot? Weird. Okay.
I thought, since it was utilizing a feature that Vegas could not use. So I changed the project settings to store peak and cache files next to the source footage, closed Premiere, deleted the old files, opened it back up and allowed it to generate new data, and rendered again.
Oh, hang on, my phone is ringing. I love all the fake spam calls I get. No one on the other line. Yeah, that was the Metal Gear Codec sound.
Expecting a slowdown, maybe results more similar to Vegas. Nope, 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 nope. I was wrong. Nope, nope, nope. I was wrong.
All right, so slight zoom in. More zoom in. More zoom in.
Nope.
Way more zoom in.
Vegas. Nope, 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 nope. I was wrong. I was way wrong. Renders went.
And then I screw that up.
Nope,
And then I try to redo it.
nope, nope, nope. I was.
I can just crap out the new nopes and use the old nopes.
Nope. I was way wrong. Renders went faster, marginally. Since the drive the files were stored on was a PCIe NVMe drive that is way faster than my normal scratch disk SSD and can handle random reads and writes much quicker, this setup actually shaved a few seconds off of the renders. The 1080p 60 file rendered at 4 minutes and 51 seconds, and the 4K 30 file rendered in 8 minutes 24 seconds. Both of these are with maximum render quality on. Of course, I need to continue using the SSD cache while editing from my network storage, but this was an interesting comparison. I am getting another M.2 NVMe SSD in soon for a review and sponsored video, so I may set that up as my cache and scratch drive moving forward because that looks like it just speeds up rendering quite a bit. The SSD cache, scratch disk, and peak file storage is just one optimization boost with Premiere. The other being a reliance on CUDA accelerated rendering. Vegas is infamous for not doing a very good job at this. It recognizes my GTX 1080 and knows to use it, but that didn't seem to matter. Either way,
We'll zoom in on this part as well. Overwatch World Cup. Nice, nice.
but that didn't
I really don't care about Overwatch at
seem
this
to
point.
matter.
I'm
Either way,
so
this
burned
was
out.
quite the interesting little adventure. I love doing stuff
And no one has respected my burnout, so that just means that I'm probably never touching the game again, which really sucks.
like this. I just don't always have the right motivation. Want to see more? Leave me a suggestion in the comments down below. Otherwise, smash the like button if you enjoyed, get subscribed for more awesome tech videos and just rabbit holes of tech madness like today, and I'll catch you in the next one.
Actually, I'll leave that outro in there and just treat that as the usual outro and add some crazy effect to this. That's going to be my thumbnail right there. That's going to be my thumbnail. Let's change to full quality. Yes. I approve. All right, and we'll add some crazy contrast to that clip real quick just so I don't forget. Just to make it even crazier, just like super. Yeah, just like super. There we go. Super just ridiculous looking. My cat meowed in response to that, even though it was coming through my headphones. He probably didn't hear it, but that was good timing. All right, so that's the A-roll, and I don't have anywhere near enough like actual footage to cover all of this to explain everything. So this is going to be a challenge. Get off of my desk. Yes. Bye-bye. All right. What do we got here?
Pro.
All right, so over here on the side monitor, I've got a single screenshot of my C drive speed. I've got my actual final renders, which is not super significant, mainly just for getting like file information from. I've got some footage that I could do like a speed run through of me editing the footage in Vegas, and it looks like Premiere as well. And that is like it. I've got me writing down the names of the files like I mentioned, because that was tedious. But I don't have anything else, so we're going to have to try to get screenshots and stuff while already editing, which isn't going to work out so great. So, How did you do that text bit where you said text and stuff? Huh? What? What does that even mean?
Using the latest versions of each, Vegas Pro 14 and Adobe CC 2017, to take advantage of the latest optimizations. For hardware, I'm running this on my main rig, an Intel Core i7-6900K CPU with a GTX 1080. My source footage files sit on my OS drive, a Intel 750 series NVMe SSD, and my target drive to render is a run-of-the-mill 2TB 7200 RPM desktop hard drive. In case you didn't know, rendering to a different
Click subscribe. Oh, it's just a lower third. It's just an image file or a video file. It's a template from videoblocks.com that I use for, it's an After Effects template.
I'm using the latest versions of each, Vegas Pro 14.
All right, so I can just get little clips of me editing here to show off the versions. I don't need to spend like too long on it, so I can do a little wipe over to Vegas.
Pro 14.
Haha, very funny, Kaz.
And Adobe CC 2017.
No, I don't pay any attention to soccer. Or any other sport for that matter. At this point in my life. Football.
To take advantage of the latest optimizations. For hardware, I'm running this on my main rig, an Intel Core.
All right, then I need some B-roll footage of my new computer. B-roll, make a bin for it, and then we will find the source footage from my archive folder here. Footage archive 2017. Oh no, it's not here. It's under finished projects. I haven't organized all this yet. Yeah. My epic new PC. What a title. All right, B-roll. I'll just grab some of these clips, I guess. That one. Load the thumbnails. That one. And that one.
i7-6900K CPU with a GT.
Time interpolation frame blending. Then I talk about the GTX 1080. I don't know if this is the right clip for it. Yeah, sort of. Good enough. Drag that above. Wham. Bam. And then out to the main case shot here with the swirly bokeh. Oh, that's the Blu-ray tray. Whatever, it's fine. It's a cool shot. And then we need some transitions. Flash, dissolve, flash.
Intel Core i7 6900K CPU with a GTX 1080. My source footage files sit on my OS drive, a Intel 750 series NVMe SSD.
Oh, I actually talk about the SSD, so I can grab. I got a little zoom in on that somewhere. What did I use? 809, 810? Maybe was the right clip. No, that doesn't look like it. Right, that looks the same as the 809 clip I had. All right, maybe 811. That's the graphics card. Yeah, I'll just have to deal. You won't see the exact parts I'm talking about. Doesn't really matter. I made a video on it. You can go, I can add in my little YouTube card icon on an even higher level, so I'll just paste it over here for right now. And if anyone's interested in the computer build I'm talking about, they can go watch it for themselves. That's why I make videos, so you can then watch them when you want to know what's in the video.
On my OS drive, a Intel 750 series NVMe SSD.
Oh, I still have it set to full quality. Shit, no wonder. Yeah, my stream was kind of freaking out there for a second too. There we go. Looks like we're good now. My bad. Whew.
The render is a run-of-the-mill 2TB 7200 RPM desktop.
And I'll come over to this PC. And I'll just grab a screenshot of this. I guess I'll get like a bigger view. Add a red box around the hard. Nope, that's not the right one. There we go. That one. And save. HDD screen shipped. Paste in the screenshot. Drag it on.
Two terabyte.
There we go, right there. Keyframes.
2TB 7200 RPM desktop hard drive. In case you.
Right there is where we will cut it off. Zoom in a little bit, but also move it to focus so you can kind of see it. And then convert that to After Effects. And we gotta wait for that to load because I haven't. Oh, that didn't work. Because I haven't opened After Effects for this project yet. How's everyone doing? I really wish I would have been able to nap earlier. That makes me sad. Okay. Save this in the right folder. Why is it not in my quick access yet? I do not know. Vegas versus Premiere. And apply the motion blur. All right. Now we will transition in and out of it. And shablamo.
2TB 7200 RPM desktop hard drive. In case you didn't know, rendering to a different disk than your source footage results in faster renders. Optimization tip number 1. Normally, my source footage.
All right, and then we can kind of crop in on that clip just to break up the jump cuts. That way they're a little bit less obvious. Hello, scaling control. There we go. Optimization tip number 2.
Here's optimization tip number 1. Normally, my source footage resides on my
And then I do have B-roll of the Synology NAS as well. Active projects. Synology, DS916, B-roll, large icons, bigger icons. Sure. Welcome back, Dennis. Hello, hello.
My source footage resides on my Synology NAS, and I use a secondary SSD on my PC as a scratch disk and media cache location for Premiere. Actually, it's called cache.
I was like, I said cache again, but no, it's the same
I
clip.
always say cache, and everyone says it's wrong. Whatever. Vegas doesn't let me customize this option, the cache location, however. So to keep things running smooth, I kept all of my files local to my machine.
All right, now I have to fake a screenshot. Vegas versus Premiere render test. Cut that into my profile folder. And again, big screenshot. Add a red box around it. Save project folder. And then delete that folder so I don't get confused later on as to why that's there. Screenshot here. This is how the magic happens.
Which is more of what most people would probably use anyway. For this test,
All right, and then swap it over to After Effects. Throw on a little motion blur on that movement, make it look very nice, very nice.
machine, which is more of what most people would probably use anyway. For this test, I created a sample video.
All right, this is where I can start adding on my time lapse of the edit process. Under editing, drag on this video. How long do I talk about it?
Edit. I chose 10 video clips of different resolutions, frame rates, and codecs to stress the render. 1080p 60 gameplay from my Elgato, 4K 60 desktop recordings from OBS, 4K 60 gameplay recordings from NVIDIA Shadowplay, 1080p 30 webcam recordings, 1080p 60 camcorder shots, and so on. I also had two 1080p 60 alpha channel overlay lower third clips that I used in the edit. I first created the edit in Vegas, taking note of the order and time codes of each clip I used so that I could successfully recreate this in Premiere. This was tedious, especially since Vegas's trimmer is the worst, but I got it done. My final video was about...
All right, so I probably go to about there with the speed lapse. Jesus, that's gonna be like 5,000,000% speed. 3,750% speed. Time interpolation, frame blending. Let's drag it a little further out so I can overlay the shot of me writing down the times here. Okay. Save.
Anyway, for this test, I created a sample video edit. I chose 10 video clips of different resolutions, frame rates, and codecs to stress the render. 1080p 60 gameplay from my Elgato,
We're just playing it back at like 2 frames a second right now for the preview.
4K 60
Don't
gameplay
worry about
recordings
that. It
from
won't show up
NVIDIA
like that normally.
Shadowplay, 1080p 30 webcam recordings, 1080p 60 camcorder shots, and so on. I also had two 1080p60 alpha channel overlay lower third clips that I used in the edit. I first created the edit in Vegas, taking note of the order and time codes of each clip I used so that I could successfully recreate this in Premiere. This was tedious, especially since Vegas's trimmer is the worst, but I got it done. My final video was about 5 minutes and 8 seconds or so, ready to be rendered at 1080p 60 FPS and 4K 30
And then flash off of that.
FPS. I did that so we could compare resolutions, frame rates, and scaling of various sizes within a more realistic edit. I also added some fade-ins and fade-outs.
And then for renders, I can throw on 4K 30 Premiere render.
Edit. I also added some fade-ins and fade-outs to certain clips, a little contrast and saturation increases on a couple as well, so that way it wasn't just raw converting footage. This is what drives me nuts about render time comparisons, is when they don't.
All right, I'm going to be bad here, and I'm going to look for... I need to find a video clip, so let me drag this to the main monitor. Monitor? What's a monitor? Got some comments. Blah, blah, blah. All right, so TLD Final Cut versus Premiere. Someone did a Final Cut versus Premiere comparison, but their test video they used for everything was like super basic, and that pissed me off. And so I want to get that.
And we need as much a 13-inch laptop and falls closer in line with the 13-inch MacBook Pro, but to keep things interesting,
Maybe he did it right.
Scrubbing across clips and the timeline was surprisingly smooth, and while playback was definitely a little choppy,
All right, let me.
let's take a moment to read a few of my favorite tweets to all those who thought I was nuts. See you at C.
Yeah, I'm gonna download some of this footage. It's just a light jab. I'm not like trying to pick a fight with anybody, but they did a similar comparison, so that's what I want to use as my reference footage here. And of course, I will provide YouTube card link and everything to their original video. I'm not just like stealing their footage. Someone asked about that in one of my other videos or in one of my other editing streams. I'm not here to just like steal footage. I'm just referencing other videos I have watched. And see, that's something a lot of people miss out on when it comes to community building with YouTube, is if you're like, if you're making videos and you're talking about topics that other people are making videos about, you need to involve those videos and point your viewers to those videos and like keep the discussion going and going back and forth. That's how you make friends. That's how you get people sent to your own videos. That's how you build like a consistent back and forth community for YouTube, not just like pretending no one else on YouTube exists but you. I hate it when people do that, when they just act like they're the only, like their videos are the only ones that exist on the platform. It drives me insane. What also drives me insane, I'm going to complain about here. One more complaint for the day, since I'm not having such a good day. Is it just me, or is his voice out of sync? They ask on a video about a webcam test in which I address the out of sync issue as being a problem with the webcam. Like, for real? Watch the freaking video. Sorry. All right, come on. Download the video. All right, I will just make a marker and we'll come back to this, I guess.
Do any actual editing. They just throw some footage on a timeline. That's just transcoding.
I'll cut out of this because that'll be covered up by now.
That's way different than editing an actual video edit. But this brought me to my next problem. There's two standard MP4 render options that YouTubers use within Vegas.
All right, and then I need to pull back up my Vegas footage here and find when I'm selecting a codec. There we go. So start wiping that on.
But this brought...
And we'll just zoom it in so you can actually see the settings menu here. All right.
But this brought me to my next problem. There's two standard MP4 render options that YouTubers use within Vegas: Main Concept MP4 and Sony AVC MVC MP4. So I needed to render each for both formats so I can see which one of those was faster too. Except the Sony AVC MVC option.
Is this? No, that's Main Concept. Let me find the MVC option here. Main Concept. Main Concept. Did I not record the MVC? That would make me mad. There we go. AVC MVC. Wham bam, drag that over. And we'll just apply a quick little blur dissolve here. Okay, and our download finished. Downloads 4K editing on a 12-inch MacBook. Drop that in there. Hopefully they don't think I'm just trying to start shit or something, because I'm not. I'm not at all. Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories 100% run race that went well over 100 hours? Seriously? I don't remember that game being so long. That's nuts. I'm going to do a crash completion run as soon as I get a capture card in the mail I'm waiting on.
Is when they don't do any actual editing, they just throw some footage on a timeline. That's just transcoding. That's way different than editing an actual video edit. But
all right, and then we will just wipe off of this to the Vegas file or format.
this brought me to my next problem.
There we go.
There's two standard MP4 render options that YouTubers use within Vegas: Main Concept MP4 and Sony AVC MVC MP4. So I needed to render each for both formats so I can see which one of those was faster too. Except the Sony AVC MVC option does not allow for a high enough bitrate for my 4K 30 render settings. It maxes out around 26 megabits per second, which is not enough for 4K. Also, Adobe Premiere has a max render quality toggle in its render settings. This increases the quality of the scaling engine during video renders, which can sometimes slow it down. I also rendered this without and with it on, so that we can compare those times as well. I've got to drink some water because the results
All right, and then we will just cut to this.
are pretty great. It's gonna be a lot of talking. Are you ready? Here are the results. In Vegas, Sony AVC.
All right, now I need to start generating benchmark graphs. I still haven't found a good program to do this. I hadn't actually considered this. Sonic Adventure 200% takes 10 hours, 4 of those dedicated to getting Chaos Emeralds. Ironic that a Sonic speedrun takes so long. Yes, it is. What can I use to generate a vector graph? Actually, I'll just use Google Slides. Well, Google Slides probably can't generate good... Well, we'll see. I don't know anymore. Let me pull this off, or pull this up off screen, actually, so you don't see any sensitive data. Okay. So we have themes. Any of them I care to use? I've used most of these, to be honest. Google Slides themes. Slides Carnival, is that a site I used? Ugh. 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 Startup. That's usually techie-ish. Good enough. Use Google Slides theme. Oh, that's square. It's not 16 by 9. Are you kidding me? Back. Oh, back in the browser. Is this one 16 by 9? Looks like it. Okay. Whew. There we go. All right, file, make a copy. We'll just save to my drive right now so you don't have to see stuff. Okay. Load the slides. There we go. Do we have a graph built in, or do I have to make one still? A table to compare data. Eh. All right. All right. I also have to pull up my script. That would be, you know, a good idea. Video scripts, 2017, February. PPT done. Vegas versus Premiere. There we go. All right. Because there's a lot of numbers here, and it's about to get complicated. All right. Sony Vegas. So we've got AVC MVC versus main concept rendering 1080p 60. So that's 2 titles and 2 numbers. How far can we modify this table? Probably not by much. Oh, this isn't the editable one. Where's the table at? There we go. Okay, so can I get rid of the entire column? Like, can I just... Nope. Table... No, I want to edit the current table. Oh, I hate editing in this stuff. Make it smaller, that just makes everything smaller. AVC... MVC... I don't like this. This is why I don't do... This is actually a huge reason why I don't do benchmark videos very often. Like, I hate trying to come up with this. I don't know how people do it. I mean, that's why most of them just use boring, like, Excel charts, but I can't figure out how to export them in decent quality. How the hell do I just get rid of the row? Or the column? Anything. It's not... Fuck Google Slides, man. Alright, we'll roll without the numbers for now. I'll just make a marker and I'll come back to that.
AVC,
Bulma bunny
MVC,
cosplay.
MP4 rendered faster than main concept MP4, taking only 8 minutes 46 seconds to render the 1080p 60 file, whereas main concept took about 10 minutes and 24 seconds. Oddly enough, Sony AVC, MVC also produced a much...
Alright, and this is where I bring in where it's a smaller file. So go back here, renders. So I want 1080p 60 Vegas main concept. Screenshot that out. Main Vegas. And then MVC Vegas. And I'll drag those into a Photoshop file. Desktop. So you can compare. Of course, I want them to be like the same size. That's always fun. All right, those two like that. Get them lined up here. Somehow they look to be on completely different scales, even though it's the exact same program. How? How, computer? How? Oh, wait. You can tell I'm tired, because I'm the one scaling up the screenshot. That's how, computer. I'm so exhausted. That's actually a good way for me to tell whether or not they're the same size is by looking at that. Herder. All right, close enough. I'm going to move it up a little bit. And then we will just duplicate this bottom layer and make it super big. And blur it out for some background here. There we go. Rasterize this. I want to cut off that black bar there. So I'll just cut off all of that. And then do the same thing here. Duplicate this one. Oh, wait. Okay, that's fine. And blur that one out as well. And we'll add a little bit of drop shadow. Nope, bad idea. Okay. We'll just save it as is. Main v MVC Vegas 1080p 60. Premiere.
Oddly enough, Sony AVC MVC also produced a much smaller file at about 555 megabytes with an average bitrate of 15 megabits per second versus the 1.10 gigabyte file with main concept. I tried to put the same bitrate roughly in for each. Don't know what happened. I did this twice. I don't know. However, Premiere Pro blew this time out of the park. It's worth mentioning here that AME, Adobe Media Encoder, often takes a long time to write file metadata to the actual video file after the render process has completed. This can take anywhere up to 5 minutes for really obnoxious files. The render is done. CPU usage drops back down to 0.
All right. And that's all the time we're going to have for today, guys. I will be doing more editing streams hopefully soon. I've got to rework schedule a little bit, but I'm going to be doing quite a few more. So hope you can tune in. Hopefully I get some sleep this week so I can actually complete a full game stream this time. And all that stuff. So thanks for hanging out with me. I'll see you in a future one.